Page 123. Hume writes a treatise titled An Enquiry Concerning Human Understanding. And I only give you section 7 of this work, all right, in our textbook. This is the idea of necessary connection. David Hume writes this in 1748, so again, around the same time period as Locke and Berkeley, okay? Now, without going into the piece by piece here, we'll do that here over the next few days. Here's the short of it, all right? With Hume, he says this happens, all right? So here's my keys. All right. You understand that principle of gravity. You understand kind of how it works. All right. And I've got a heavy set of keys, so this is pretty resounding. All right. So what happens when I let go? It's going to fall again. How do you really know this?
Universal concept.
Universal concept of what?
Gravity.
Of gravity? Okay. What else? What if you knew nothing about gravity as a scientific principle? Could you predict what's going to happen?
Yes. Depends.
Depends? Yes? It's already happened before?
What if you haven't seen it before? What if you're an alien that's coming from...
Well, yeah, but notice I've already done, like, how many trials now? Done this 3 or 4 times? All right. So with reasonable probability, if I let go, I'm pretty sure most of you can predict what's going to happen next. So what's going to happen next? Obviously, it's going to fall. It's going to hit the table, and it's going to make a resounding bang. Yes? All right. Hey, you're right. Cool. This is common sense, is it not? None of you dispute this. 99% of the information that you gather from the world, Hume says you get in this way. Yeah. That by consistent, constant trial and error, you figure out how the world around you works. So a simple matter of this and my letting go and you predicting that it drops and makes a resounding clank, all right? This is not something that you really need to spend too much time figuring out. You just need to see a few trials and then kind of put it together and make an inductive leap. Recall your logic unit, induction, inductive reasoning. This is Hume, all right? Hume puts a little bit of stock into this inductive reasoning process. We build up our knowledge of the world around us through what Hume calls habit. So habit in this work, when you're reading an essay concerning human understanding, habit is a technical term. All right, so you'll see it actually highlighted in here. And he also uses a word or a set of words here, a term called necessary connection. All right. And so the short of it, in the couple of minutes I have left here before the bell goes, all right, Hume says that our understanding of the world is built on habit. That by doing constant trial and error and making predictions about that probability of something happening again based on the trials that we've seen already, that we can actually make good predictions about the world around us. How do I know that the keys are going to fall and make that resounding clang? Well, I do a couple of trials, see what happens. Boom, I understand what's going to happen next. And with reasonable assurance, with a reasonable probability, I can predict the final conclusion because I've built up a habit of understanding. I've built up a necessary connection between one action and its effect. So Hume is all about cause and effect. And so as you read this inquiry into human understanding, that's what you have to realize that he's talking about, is that everything is based on those connections and building up those connections. How do we know that this is reliable, that this is what is always going to allow us to make those predictions and allow us to understand the world around us? Well, this is what Hume's going to talk about in great detail and depth. Okay? So I'm going to leave it at that for today, all right, with Hume. Again, if you haven't read it, please do. It's only, I don't know, 5 or 6 pages here, okay? So it's not that big a deal. If you've already read it but you didn't quite figure it out, well, read it with that in mind, this idea of habit and predictability, and that telling you about the world around you, and that's what Hume's about.